Hello. Hi, Rex. Hi, Annabella. Annabelle, sorry. Glad to see you here. How's everybody's weather? I could check here, but it could down below 0 the other day. So we got 2 feet of snow, I think. And I had a doctor's appointment, a therapy appointment Wednesday. So I thought, well, 45 minutes to an hour ought to be, enough time to chip the car out. No. 45 minutes later, I had a probably 10-inch square area cleared off right in front of my driver's area. So I ended up having to call the police department and ask if there was someone that could help a little old lady. She wanted to know how old I was. Maybe she thought I was lying. I don't know. Bob, we love Bob. Rex, that's terrible. I see. Is that Virginia? Virginia was under a state of emergency. Virginia? Yeah, I think so. That's where my cousins live, too. You've had a lot of water, too, there, haven't you? I know we love Bob. West Virginia. Okay. Hi, Donna. Of course, I can't, as usual, just ignore my trying to breathe here. It's National Michigan Day. Is that true, Bob? Hi, Rumsey. Always good to see you. I'll have to catch you up to date on my big project. I think it's going to happen. I'll know for sure in a day or two, so I'll have to let you know. National Michigan Day. Why didn't anybody send me any gifts? Super chats. If I would have known, I would have started a Cash App, Bob, and plopped that up there. Help me celebrate my day, my state's day. That's funny. What's going on in my family? I took baby Riley to the vet to the tune of $562, and that was with the discount. Oh, so, and this is a pre-dental appointment, so I'm sure that's going to be another $1,000 or so. Pets are so expensive. Unless you let them run around and get hit in the road, right, Bob? Bob's everybody's friend. Everybody show Bob some love. Bob's had a hard time today. He got kind of run over on the YouTube streets, so. I wish Eve, I don't know if Eve's going to make it or not. Okay, so my serial killer poll. Yeah, Annabelle. I know, Bob is the best. Everybody loves Bob. Who doesn't love Bob? Seriously. We should have a Bob Appreciation Day on here. No, Annabelle, it was, I'm not going to mention, but, it wasn't on a live. Was that a community post, Bob? Yeah, it was. Someone that's, been, kind of stabbed me in the back, too. If you remember back a little ways. Someone that called me and put me on a live. Yeah, that person. Without letting me know. Oh, it was on Facebook. Yeah, it wasn't PG. Oh, it was on Facebook. Oh. Yeah, Annabelle, I'll send it to you afterwards. Rumsey, you're pretty good at being a mod. I appreciate it. I appreciate all my mods. Okay. So here's our, no. What the heck is my, no, this is not the time, Miles. Well, you're doing really good. I wouldn't know the first thing about it. Okay, so we're going to talk about number 10 on our top U.S. serial killers by proven victims. I did a little poll. Not too many people guessed the number one. I think what I'm going to do is move these to Monday because I want to go into a little more depth about each of them. And then I'll have my regular live on Thursday. I'd like to have a live every night, but no, I don't want to do that. Okay. So I'm going to give you the serial killer list. Number 10 is Belle Gunness from LaPorte, Indiana. It says here proven victims 25. I haven't been able to confirm that. But possible victims 40. I've seen 14 confirmed victims in other lists. This is from Wikipedia. Then we have Juan Corona at number 9. And I vividly remember that. Hi, Crafty with Amy. Are you feeling better, hon? I know you were sick too. Someone that was in my chat one day said her uncle was a victim of Juan Corona. It would be nice if we could get her on channel, maybe talk about the trial. Okay, he had 25 victims also. I don't know why he's ranked above Bell. Oh well. He was a farm contractor who murdered male migrant workers in California and buried their bodies in peach orchards. But we'll talk about all these in a little more depth later. I vividly remember that. That was horrible. Sunshine. Hey, Okra. Oh, good. I'm glad you're glad. I actually started taking, because why not? I take so many pills every day. What is it? What is that I'm taking? Turmeric. I hear so many good things about that. I wasn't sure exactly what it's going to do. It comes with ginger and black pepper in all the incantations I could find. So what the heck? Can't hurt, right? I think I actually do feel a little perkier. This is my third day. I got capsules, gel tabs, because I do not drink anything hot. So any teas or anything are out for me. So we're not doing that. Okay, we're getting off the subject. Juan Corona. Yeah, I think he was the at that time that set the victim, the highest victim count. I do believe. I remember when that happened. Okay, at number 8 is Dean Coral, otherwise known as the Candyman. And hi, Damrez. He had 28 confirmed victims, but there's more. His story is very interesting because he had a couple of teenage boys that were his victims, but then they brought him victims. And I've run into a couple of other cases of that recently. It's kind of interesting how that happens. Did I say hi, Sunshine? I know I said okra. I don't have dogs. I have kitties. I don't want to do that unless I check with the vet. Yeah, turmeric. We'll see what the turmeric does. See if it helps my lungs. Everybody's trying to help my lungs. Okay. And I start pulmonary therapy, I think, next week. So we'll see how that goes. 10, 9, 8, 7 is Ted Bundy. I think we pretty much all know about Ted Bundy, don't we? Is there anybody that doesn't know about Ted Bundy? Go ahead and put a 1 in the comments. I think that's when everybody knows. 28 proven victims. He was executed in 1989. Then we have at number 6, Felipe Espinoza. I've never heard of him, but he had 32 victims. This was in 1863. Kind of anxious to look into him. Murdered people across the Colorado Territory. Never heard of him. Number 5, John Wayne Gacy. Who hasn't heard of him? 33 victims. Known victims. Known as the Killer Clown. He was active in Chicago. I think he is, to my mind, the worst of the worst. I don't think it gets any worse than him. He was just a sadist. He enjoyed torturing these boys, and I think he's the most evil, actually. Frenzy. Okay, then we have at number 4, Donald Harvey. He had 37 victims, but possibly 80. Was killed in prison. He was known as the Angel of Death, hospital orderly who murdered patients in Ohio and Kentucky. I vaguely remember that. Doesn't it seem like in the true crime community anyway, if you don't violently kill people, it isn't as exciting. It doesn't get as much press, is what I think. I mean, there's a lot of these mercy killer nurses and things, but you don't hear too much about them. 37 is quite a few victims. 80, possibly 80. He was active for 17 years. That's a pretty big deal. Okay, then at number 3, we have the Hart brothers. 39 proven victims. These were America's first known serial killers, and they were pretty gross, so we'll get into them too. I'm anxious to do shows on these. Okay, then at number 2, we have Gary Ridgway. And I was amazed some people had never heard of him. Bob, you hadn't heard of Gary Ridgway, had you? The Green River Killer. Yeah, he was active for 16 years, it took. Although he had a period in there where he was happily married and wasn't killing, which I know is unusual for a serial killer, too. And he worked in Washington State. How many people did the Bloody Benders? I know, I get those mixed up with the Hart brothers. Just a minute, Bob. I'll look for that for you. Let me see if I can roll down here. Earl Nelson, Cora Watts, McLennan. Jeffrey Dahmer isn't very high. There's the Golden State Killer. I'm not seeing the Bloody Benders. Okay, I'm gonna have to Google those. Dennis Rader. Okay, and number 1, the top U.S. serial killer by victim count, far and away, heads above everyone, is Samuel Little. And I'm surprised he doesn't get more press. Seriously, 61 proven victims, 93 possible victims. He was active for 35 years. Known as the choke and stroke killer who killed 93 women in 14 states. But yet, you don't hear anything about him. I wonder what makes a serial killer more famous, more gruesome. I don't know. Okay, Bob, I'm gonna Google bloody vendors here for you, and then we'll get into Belle. Well, the bloody vendors was a whole family. Maybe that's why. Yeah, and that was pretty gross. I'm not getting down to it. Sorry, everybody. Thank you, DMS. I'm working at it. We'll see. Nobody works harder than my doctors, I'll tell you. Okay, 11. The family of 4 known as the Benders, who were accused of murdering 11 people in Kansas. So they aren't very high up there, Bob. But I can do a show on those too if you want. Feel free, people, to put some case you'd like me to cover. Yeah, only 11. Their killings were fairly gruesome, actually. True. Okay, let's go over Belle for a little while, and then I have some things, of course, on Andy B. Dudley, Hunter, more of the Summer Wells case in the timeline. So, from things that have come out recently, I'm not going to talk about Hunter's dad or his uncle. I wish everyone would just ignore them and they'll go away. They're just doing things for shock value, and it's working. It's getting people to talk about them, putting them on their panels for some god-awful reason. I don't think they had anything to do with Summerwell's case. They were gone. That was the year before. They're halfway across the country. But I think their main goal here is to cash in, actually. I heard that. I heard that today. I'm not done with Jose Diamers, and I'm sorry. I'll get back to him. I went finish Justin's, and then I want to do Chris McDonough's too with Jose, which was after that. And I should share the American True Crime video with Jose's death certificate too. They all have middle names. If they don't put the middle name in there, everybody with the first two names, the two names, gets their background dug into and videos made about them, even though they're not related to the serial killer. I'm sorry, hon. I'm going to go over him again. I will. I have so many ideas, and Yeah. I'll get it together one day, you guys. Stick with me. Okay, so excuse me. Belle was born in, let's see, she was active from 1900 to 1908 in Illinois and Indiana. She was born in Norway in 1859. I keep putting 19. Brunhild Storst was her name. She started working at a farm at the age of 14 to move to the U.S. And her sister Nellie and her husband have moved to Chicago. So in 21, Belle came to Chicago and lived with her husband, her sister and her husband. She changed her name to Belle Peterson. She started working as a maid, but became a butcher because she knew how to cut meat from working on the farm. She was about 5'7" and weighed around 250 pounds. So they said she was a pretty strong woman. I would not be able to ever be a butcher. No. Although my grandfather was a butcher and I used to work for him. It didn't bother me to go back in the meat locker and see those, cows and things hanging back there, but I don't know. As I get older, things bother me more, I think. Okay, in 1884, she married a man named Mad Sorensen, and they owned a candy store. This lady's life is a disaster. Self-caused disaster. You're not going to believe this. They owned a candy store and looked after foster children. That's pretty sad, too. The candy store was not successful, unfortunately, and it burned to the ground. Here we go. Belle told the firemen that a kerosene lamp exploded. However, they didn't find any kerosene lamp in the building, but the insurance paid off. Of course, she had insurance. They used that money to buy their first home, which burned in 1898, also insured. Then their two children died as infants of colitis, which has a lot of the same symptoms as strychnine poisoning. And of course, the children were insured. Hey, little Dev, welcome. Okay, so after their two children died, now the foster children are still alive. These are the two that she and Matt had. She encouraged him to take out a second, larger insurance policy. And he mysteriously died on the day the policies overlapped. Yeah, that's nothing mysterious there. Is it because she moved around? You think that people didn't notice this? Or was it because it was in the 1800s? I don't know. So now she had a huge amount of money. So she bought a farm in LaPorte, Indiana, and moved in with the three foster children in 1901. In 1902, she married Peter Gunness, a widower with two young daughters. Uh-oh. The girls died within a week of the wedding, and Peter died 8 months later. Is anybody keeping track of these victims? Okay, so she told police that he reached up to get a meat grinder off a top shelf, and it fell on his head and killed him. Most of her victims died of blunt force trauma, so that seems to be what she does. But because In LaPorte, they didn't know that her first husband had mysteriously died too. So nothing was done. Okay, here's where she starts her Lonely Hearts ads. She started placing ads in 3 weekly Norwegian newspapers in the American Midwest, stating that a wealthy widow with a farm was looking for a good, kind, reliable man to marry. We don't know exactly how many people answered her ads, but a lot of men went to visit her and no one ever heard from them again. She would admit she knew them, that they stayed with her. She even had some of their belongings and their money, but yet she said they left and disappeared. They all took large amounts of cash from their bank accounts before they visited her and would only tell a few people or none where they were going. I don't know, hi Kirst, welcome. I don't know if this is that any different from nowadays? I guess you wouldn't have to actually kill someone to scam them. You could just start a GoFundMe nowadays, right? So, yeah. Wouldn't have to actually kill someone. She was born before her time. Okay, so the last, one of these last people, Andrew Helgline, his brother went to see Belle Gunness and then did not return. So this man was kind of like in the John Wayne Gacy case. You just go along until you meet someone that people miss, that people care about, that somebody's going to notice that they went missing. So here this guy goes missing and his brother's antenna goes up. So he contacted Belle, and she said she didn't know his brother, but that he was welcome to come and look around the farm. Well, that was a mistake. Huh? Okay, so then in April 1908, her farmhouse burned to the ground. She's a firebug. Did she have an alias? No. Well, that is her. No. She had, names like Hell's Bells, and I forget what some of the other ones were. Bluebird, female Bluebird, but hi, Misha. No. Belle Peterson, Belle Gunness. No, they were married names. No, she didn't have an alias. I don't think she needed one back then. Okay, so when authorities got to the burned house, I think I posted a picture of the burn. Oh, I did not post that one. I posted a picture of the wreckage. They found the bodies of 3 children and a woman. Sadly, the 3 foster children were in the fire, in the basement. The woman was missing its head and was much shorter and thinner than Belle. So that was a little suspicious. And Belle did like cutting heads off people, so anyway, so was it her? That's a mystery that is unsolved to this day. Andrew Helgline contacted the Port Police to look around the farm to see if they could find his brother. So he and a former farm employee began to look around the property. The employee mentioned soft depressions he noticed inside an area that had been a hog pen. So authorities started digging in the former hog pen. And this is a rumor that she fed her victims to the hogs. And actually, the hogs will eat anything. No, she did not feed anything to the hogs. We're going to get into that. So, authorities dug into one of these soft depressions and found a sack buried under the soil. The bag was opened, and it contained 2 hands, 2 feet, and 1 head. And quicklime was stuffed into the mouth and ears of the head in the bag. That is when Hegline, she was scary. That's when Hegline recognized the limbs in the bag. Sadly, it was his brother. What are the chances the very first bag they dig up? That must have been horrible for him. Okay, Belle's farm was searched, and authorities noticed many of the same depressions all over the yard. In each depression was a burlap sack filled with arms, legs, and torsos. All had been killed in the same way by blunt force trauma. Belle would decapitate the victim, remove the arms at the shoulders and legs at the knees. She was handy with a knife, wasn't she? Many of the heads were covered in quicklime and wrapped in a burlap sack. The authorities found so many bags that they stopped counting. Why would they do that? They wouldn't do that nowadays. But I guess, if families weren't... Oh, Amy, it did? I'm sorry. No, nobody deleted anything. I'm sorry. Where was I? Oh, the authorities found so many bags that they stopped counting. Most of the bodies could not be identified. People would come to watch the removal of the bags and attempted assembly of the parts. Refreshment stands were set up, and people, as many as 15,000 in a day. Now, I did post a picture of that, of all the looky-loos around the basement of the burned out house. You could buy a bowl of Gunness stew while you were watching. Always entrepreneurs, aren't they? I know people like to watch this gruesome stuff. That's why those public hangings and beheadings were so popular, I guess. So, oh, I was just saying about the man whose name I can't remember, who killed all those full-term babies. No, I don't know. Is it a nurse? I don't know. Yes, morbid. Right. Future internet sleuth, sunshine. That's just what I was thinking too. So a former hired hand. I'm surprised that any of these, that she had former employees. How did they manage to get away? Is what I want to know. No money. Obviously, if they were working for her, they didn't have any money, right? So this guy worked on the farm and was also an on and off again lover, I guess, between victims. He was arrested for arson and murder of the Gunness family. He admitted that he went by the farm and saw it on fire, but feared that if he told anyone, he would incriminate himself. So he was sentenced to imprisonment in Indiana State Prison. Not long after the sentencing, he died of tuberculosis and gave a deathbed confession. He said that he didn't kill anyone, but did help Belle bury the sacks of body parts. He also took credit for the fire, but the woman found in the home was not Gunness. It was instead her housekeeper. Ray said that he had taken Belle to the train station and she hopped on a train headed to Chicago. Wonder if she went back to her sister Nellie and her husband. Wonder if anybody thought to question them. Yes. Yes. Although it might have been past that point. Ray said that Belle killed and decapitated the housekeeper and her children and placed them in the basement so it would look like an accident had killed the family. Police investigated the claims, but nobody knows. To this day, nobody knows if Belle actually escaped, if she's out and about, if that was actually Belle dead, who the headless woman was. Oh, Rumsey. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? She could go on the run. She had a lot of money. How sad that she wouldn't have gotten any insurance money from that farm, though, right? She couldn't claim that. But she had a lot of money from the men she killed. I don't know. There's a lot of, different opinions about whether that was her or not. The body was 3 to 4 inches smaller. The thing is, the fire, does, well, you know what a fire does. So, and also, it's not unusual for a fire victim to have their skull explode, unless they've been shot in the head first, and there's a place for the gases to escape. I don't know. We don't know. So there's Belle. I'm sure there's a lot of books on her. I was going to kind of dig into the Lindbergh baby kidnapping because now there's a theory out that a book and a theory that Lindbergh, the baby, was never actually kidnapped, that Lindbergh lent the baby for medical experiments and he died. Which offhand sounds ludicrous. However, he was a known Nazi sympathizer and believed in eugenics, and his son was ill. He did suffer from different medical conditions. And it's always been theorized that Lindbergh might have had something to do with it just because of the conditions, how they were never at the house at that day. No one knew they were there. Only the family was present. I don't know. But I'm going to get that book and read up on that. We can talk about that later. I know it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Okay. But who knows? All opinions are welcome. I have an open mind on everything, so. All right, so let's go over some Summer Wells things. Now, yes, I believe that. Didn't he have another whole family in France or somewhere, Bob, after he died that came out? Yeah, I don't think he was a nice guy. I don't think anybody ever said he was a nice guy, but yeah, the boy had rickets. He had something wrong with his feet. He was getting vitamin B infusions. Yeah, he had a lot of physical problems. And that's horrible. I'm sure that Anne didn't know. I don't know. It's an interesting theory. Supposedly, she has a lot of research, so we'll see what she comes up with. I don't know. The more I looked into it, the more I thought could be. Oh, Annabelle. Yes, I would like to do something about the Sexton family. That's absolutely a horrific case too, isn't it? Unbelievable how. I don't know. There's another where he was abusive and a killer, but were his sons complicit? I mean, they did, but was it because they were? I don't know. That's another thing like Dean Coral, where you have accomplices, but what level of guilt is their complicity? His son did an interview on ID channel. I think my I don't know, my dad was a monster or something like that. Evil in the Family, I don't remember. I watched it a couple times because I knew a lot about the case, and what he lived through was traumatic, no doubt. But anyway, I shouldn't get into that because people don't know what we're talking about. Oh, it was definitely for money, Rumsey. All for money. So, and she was psychotic, but I don't think she killed for the pleasure of killing. She killed for money, which is why I said nowadays she'd be running other, GoFundMe scams or whatever. Nowadays, you don't have to kill people for money unless you're a drug addict on the street, I guess, without internet access. Okay, so there's a few things here I wanted to talk about. And one is this timeline I found. I'm not sure where exactly it came from, but Killer Looks have posted it. I wonder where Eve is. She must not be feeling good tonight. So let's discuss this. Candace and Candy get home with Summer at 3 to 3:30. I think it's more likely 3:30. Oh yeah, that's interesting too. Yeah, there's a lot of those old mysteries. Yeah, I've read a lot about Lizzie Borden too. It's kind of an open case still. Okay, tell me what you think, you guys. Chime in. Candace and Candy get home with Summer at 3 to 3:30. Okay, I think more like 3:30. I think they dropped Hunter off around 2:45 to 3. Because we know he was home at 3:10. It's kind of depending on how long they were actually at the store there. And Don took lunch at 3 is the next one. I agree with that. Don's boss said he did take lunch at 3. Jenna said Don was at home at 3. Okay, Jenna is saying what Candace told her. Candace is a liar. Jenna is a liar. Candace wasn't home at 3. Don left work at 3, so he wasn't home at 3. So I'm not sure I agree with all this. 3:30, Don said law enforcement wiped their phones. Don did say that. However, Chris McDonough, and I remember this clearly, said that is the technology that the FBI uses, and it's done that in other cases. So I looked around a little. I couldn't find that. I wish we could actually ask him a question, but If anybody knows where I could find that. But I remember that was back at the beginning when people were questioning this. However, does that really matter who wiped the phones? It's still on a cloud, right? I mean, and if they're trying to say Don and Candace wiped their phones, well, law enforcement could still get all the information on there. I mean, they don't know how to wipe their phones completely clear. No. Mishan, that's a good point. Why did they stop in the road? And I was going to look at that. Who was that? Was it Scientific Skeptic? Somebody went out and, found where they took that picture, and I know more, or where they took the video, and I know several people have pinpointed that location, but could not find where they took the still photo. And why would they have the bag open like that? I don't know. Allie said she thought that was taken at her house. But that doesn't look like across the road to me. There's no holes or anything there. So, plus Candace, yeah, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe it was taken at her house. They had to have been loading or unloading something in the back at that point. Okay, True Crime Rocket Science, thank you. I'll go look that up. I was going to go look at that and follow up on so many things, though. I get sidetracked. I looked at my watch history last night after I took my pills, and apparently I watched dog grooming videos all night and ate macadamia nuts. Don't you love waking up and looking at the wreckage all over your bed and see what you did? Sometimes I even order things. Oh. Okay, so 3 to 3:30, Fred said Andy drove in behind two other cars. Now, what do we think about that? What do we think about Andy? Andy swears Fred. Fred swears that he saw that. Andy swears that was a different day. That could be. That's happened in a lot of cases. Different days, different weeks. People get confused. Look at all the rumors around the red truck in the ditch at the bottom of Don's driveway. Now, that was in August. So that was 2 months after Summer went missing, but yet people are saying it was that day. So I don't know. And then Fred and Laura left for the scrapyard between 3 and 4. So I don't know. But what do you think about Andy's possibility that Andy's involved here? I need a co-host because nobody's talking to me. Did Don take the boys to work? Why didn't Dudley mention that the boys were at work? Dudley was pretty descriptive about his interactions with Don, right? Dudley also said Don was working the day after Summer went missing. I don't believe that's correct either, because there's a picture of Don dressed up on his way to take the lie detector test the next day. So I don't believe he was at work. How would Dudley know he was at work the day after Summer went missing anyway? That's another odd thing. Okay, but let's think about 3:30. Is it possible that the Wells were trying to cover up whatever happened after 3:30 and they wiped their phones? I don't think they would have come out with that it was erased after 3:30 if they did it. And I don't think that there's anything the FBI couldn't recover. would they have tried to hide that because something did happen at 3:30? I don't know. There's so little we really know. Yeah, he said he was fired the day before. I don't know. Dudley's story changed, and he was paid for that story, so that kind of, and how good are his recollections, really? I mean, if he was high on meth that whole time, does that alter your memory? I don't really know. So now Hunter's, I don't know if Candy's was wiped. I don't know. I wish we could get more clarification from Chris McDonough. Is anybody his buddy? Josh. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. Thank you. I'm going to screenshot this and I'm going to send Josh a email. Yeah, what's timeline isn't that for sure. We got, now here's something I do believe. 100% for one thing, well, more than one thing. The 2:00 at Sonic, I firmly believe that. The manager said that. Everybody agreed they went to Sonic. The manager said it was 2:00. 2:00 was the beginning of happy hour, which was the buy one, get one half off or something. And of course, Candace would go there for that. So I do believe that time is accurate. 3:10. A lady picking up kids at the neighbors to Allie saw Hunter at home at 3:10. So I do believe he was dropped off between 2:45 and 3:00. I believe that 3:10, that lady had no reason to lie. That's all she's ever said, was that. She's not looking for an attention, an award, publicity. So I believe her, because we got to pick who we believe here. So I believe that he was home at 3. I think and the only reason is Ellie asked them why they were erased. I don't know. I don't know why he brought it up. Yeah, obviously law enforcement could. Obviously Don and Candace could get all that information still because it would be in the cloud. Yeah, it wasn't gone. I don't know. Are they that stupid that they think erasing something in the phone in the first place is going to make you look suspicious as hell, right? Don wouldn't even know how to do that. Candace would. But yeah, that's going to draw a lot of attention to you. I don't know. Okay, and then yes, H said in his recent speaking that the story he told CM wasn't true, but what he said the other day was what he actually told law enforcement. Yeah, I don't know. I said maybe they didn't mention Burger King because Summer wasn't with them when they went to Burger King. But when did they go to Burger King? He didn't say when they went to Burger King. And yet the truck, the video, there's no wrappers from anything. There's no Sonic cups. There's no straw wrappers. There's no Burger King bags or fry containers. Where is all that? Where is all the trash? I don't know. Okay, and here's something else that story changed. Hi, sweet emotion. Yeah, I don't believe that either. I don't believe anything Don said happened on June 14th because CPS wasn't there. I know that. His allegedly, Andrew told Hunter to lie to Chris. And, you know, he's not obligated to tell Chris the truth about anything anyway, right? So that's not going to be held against him. But at the beginning, they pulled up to bring Hunter there. Allie, this was the story at the beginning. Allie walked out to the truck. Hi, Melissa. Yeah, he said there were televisions. If you look at the still photo off on the left side in the back, it looked like there could be something that's a TV possibly. I don't know. Yeah, 309. And she didn't supply a timestamp for that either. No, it doesn't make any sense. You don't look. No, it didn't make any sense. You know, I don't think that it's done. Everybody's talking about it's done, it's done. How come we're not talking about that it's done? So what? So she got a text that said it's done. That could be anything. Literally anything. And it was 2 days after Summer went missing. So what does it have to do with Summer? What does it have to do with Summer? Why did Hunter even mention that, now that we think about it? Why did he mention that? Why did he mention that? Okay, so they pulled up. Leslie was out there. I have those texts. Leslie saw Summer in the truck. Allie walked out to the truck. Allie said she walked out to the truck in the Chris McDonough interview. She said she walked out and saw Summer. She said the milk in the truck and Summer sleeping on it was exactly the same as in the video and the photo. So she was there. Hunter said he got out and went over to Candace's window to get the vapes and showed his mom the vapes there at the window, there at the truck door. And Hunter said Allie came out to talk to Candace about their trip to whatever, the water park or water park that weekend. So everybody's stories all kind of are the same about that incident at the beginning. So I believe that. I believe they all saw her. Leslie said law enforcement had it on the camera on the pole. I believe she might have had pictures. She asked them if they wanted her pictures. And she said they told her no, they had it on video. Why would Don tell you? I don't know. Why does Don lie? Don lies about everything. Who was riding mini bikes that day? I guess I didn't hear that. How would he know? He was at work. Remember, he got home late that day. For that matter, when was Summer going to ask him to go on the roof? Because he was at work. Don just likes to lie. I don't know. He wanted to make it sound like it was all clear with CPS. Why does he lie about anything and everything? The script was made by Allie, but I don't think she should have allowed him to talk to anyone. Unmasked interviewed Allie first, and Allie begged them to interview Hunter, but they refused because he was a minor. So she was anxious to get Hunter on screen talking. For some reason. Why would that be? I don't know. There's a lot of coincidences, isn't there? Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know. Because she knew that Unmasked wasn't law enforcement, Annabelle, and she begged them to interview Hunter, so I don't know what the deal was there. I don't know why she was so anxious to have him interviewed. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Hi, hon. How are ya? Okay. I think it's more than coincidence that Dudley said on the 14th. And Jackie Dobbs said Don looked like a man with a lot on his mind. Hi, birdies. I don't know, but there's a lot of things that Dudley said that I don't. Hi, Carrie Moody. Everybody, go sub up to Carrie. Carrie has an awesome channel. And I wish Eve was here so she could drop a link. I don't think anyone else knows. Carrie, can you drop your link? If I try to do it, I'll kick myself off. I know. Anyway, Carrie does some really good videos. I don't know if I believe Dudley. I don't know if I believe Dudley. Why would Don be staying over at the work sites overnight? That doesn't make any sense. And then that day, he said he was sitting on the edge of the tub, and then he said he was sitting on the toilet, so there's conflicting stories. He said Don was working the day after Summer went missing, and that's not true. I don't know. Should we go over Dudley's story, too? I don't think I necessarily believe Dudley. But we could go over that. Yeah, I think Dudley is confused. Dudley could be mixing up days, too. Plus, he got fired. So there you go. He's a disgruntled employee, too. What was he saying about the buckets of mud? I know, that didn't really make any sense either. I don't know. Yes, he is a minor. I guess in the middle of March he becomes an adult. God forbid. He's already admitted he's on video that he's in a gang, that he doesn't conduct his gang business and drug dealing on his phone. We have pictures of his girlfriend with hundreds of dollars fanned out. And then we have True, whose boyfriend has a lot of arrests, domestic violence, and different things. It's not looking good for that family, I don't think. Yes. I don't believe Dudley. They've all had two different stories, or more. Really? What did Dudley have to say? When I heard she was gone, so he went up the hill. Yeah, there's various interpretations to that, too. I don't know. What was he looking for in the shed? I thought maybe he had stolen goods from his boss in the shed. Or maybe he wanted to make sure Candace got the drugs out of the shed. I don't know. And what that would have to do with anything. I don't know. I think Don meant when he saw everyone still looking for her, he just knew she was gone. That could be, too. That could be. Hi, Danny. They were saying Jody had Andy's phone. Yeah, I had just saw that today. And I know Candace often pretended to be Don online. She typed on Messenger and talks to people as Don. And she also posted on Don's Facebook as Don. I hope Ellie has fun trying to figure out who was actually using what phone at what time, when, who said what. Actually, I think that they know exactly what happened. I think they have it all figured out. They don't need any information from us. I honestly believe that. I think they know it all. They're just waiting for a body. They have to prove that she's dead. And, so many people don't believe she is. So obviously, in the absence of a body or a tremendous amount of blood, a death scene, they're unable to prove that. I don't know. It's a mystery, isn't it? The perfect crime, if you will. And I don't think it was actually a crime to begin with. Yeah, I know. I don't know. There was supposed to be two. I know. I know. I know. So you're telling me that if you believe Don, so allegedly they were coming to take the kids the day after Summer went missing, or they were coming the day Summer went missing, which obviously that's false because they didn't come that day, did they? Or they're coming the next day. Okay, so two of them come at night to tell Donna case is closed? No. They send you a letter. They don't make a personal visit. And they don't come at night. Don said he got there after work. They got there. None of that story makes sense. The BB gun thing was from, 2 years before that? And, he's just confabulating. You think that they really came that night and said, oh, everything's fine. Yeah, we're closing the case. It's all right. And then they were coming back the next day to take all the kids? No. There's no way. I should say my opinion, but in my opinion, that's just a fact. They're going to come take the kids, but yet they come and say everything's fine. You don't have anything to worry about. That doesn't even make any sense. That's like Don's story about him holding Summer is the last picture of her right before she disappeared. And that's all bullshit, too. I've proven that. I don't believe anything Don says. Exactly. I don't think they do, but, it's just another con, Bob. It's just another con. Grandma and Mom sent the boys down to look. Like an hour later, Don gets home and the boys are still there. Yeah, I don't know, but yet Chris McDonough didn't look in the shed, did he? He could have. Candace said he could. The door was partially open. Who wouldn't have looked in the shed? I think Chris just wanted to be able to later say that he thought Don was in the shed when he knew all along Don wasn't. His truck wasn't there. I don't know. I don't know. Surely if the boys knew anything, they would have talked before now. I don't think the boys were looking because wish we knew what time that guy saw him on the GoPro. He said they were down there playing. By the water. Isn't it funny how you can't get away from cameras? Here he had them on the GoPro. Plus there's a camera in the corner that records everybody that comes and goes from that road. Law enforcement knows a lot more than we do. I think they have it figured out. Yeah, I don't know. Check out story. Am I behind in chat? How can I be behind in chat when we don't have anybody in chat? It definitely doesn't work that way. No. Oh, yeah. Oh, they can. Absolutely. They are amazing. Those dogs are amazing. I probably told you guys before that my girlfriend works for Paws with a Cause, and they, train dogs to help people with disabilities. Well, not all dogs make it. They don't have the right temperament or. So one of their dogs actually is in Tennessee and was trained to sniff out coatings on electronics. He works with law enforcement in Tennessee helping to catch child predators. They can sniff out that coating on the thumb drives and SD cards and find them hidden, like in an air vent or wherever they are. It's just amazing. It's amazing. It's pretty hard to hide things from a dog. Personally, I feel like they didn't investigate. All the vehicles, others' homes part. Well, at first they treated it like a missing child, right? Like she walked off. That's what they assumed. Although I think they might have had suspicions. Remember on the dispatch call, she said check the house and the camper and whatever, even if they said they've already been checked. Maybe they just wanted professionals to check, but I don't know. And then if they investigated everyone at the beginning, was their stories going to be any different than they are now? They'd still have changed their stories 15 times by now. Jody Sue was adamant that the Wells were wonderful parents, would never mistreat their kids. There's no way they hurt anybody. That was at the beginning. So now she's done a 180. And she keeps changing her story. Summer drank alcohol of a sippy cup. She never said that. She saw Don showering with Summer. She never said that. I know she couldn't have seen that, so I didn't believe her at the beginning. I don't know. Annabelle. I don't know what I said to cause her reaction. Okay, we got Dudley, the white phones. I think that's about all. Oh, and PG trying to say that Hunter said he got the phone call that Summer was missing shortly before Candace dropped him off at home. Candace called him from the front seat. What the hell? Come on. He's talking about before Red and his girlfriend dropped him off from the ball game. He got dropped off more than once that day, so I don't know why people, just because he said he got home at 3:30, I guess people are going over everything looking for the proof of that, and I don't believe there is proof of that. Oh yeah. Some detectives are good, some detectives are bad. I think detectives that work with you know if you're a slacker. But what are they going to do about it? What did they call the guy who graduated last in his medical school class? Anybody? Doctor. If everyone was arriving at 7, what time did it get dark that day? Well, it was June, so I don't know. It's Tennessee on daylight savings time. Doctor, you got it right. You got it right, birdies. I don't know. So let's talk about this. Did Don? Okay, Don left for work at 7:30. Candace, Candy, and Summer left at 8. Got to Holston at 8:30. Candace got bored waiting and started texting Hunter. Hunter said he hadn't had any contact with her for months, although we have a text conversation between the two of them 2 weeks before that, so that's a lie. Then she stopped by his house, allegedly changed Summer into her swimsuit. I don't think that's true. I think Summer had it on, but that's just my opinion. So they were going to go fishing and swimming. So Hunter asked if he could go along because he wanted to go fishing. So he asked his mom, and she said, okay. So off they go. I think they left because, and he said Candy called for them to come pick him up shortly after Candace got there. First he said Candace got to his house at around 11. Then he said maybe it was as early as 10, so between 10 and 11. Candy called for them to come get her shortly after they left. They went to pick her up, went to Walgreens. Hi, Lisa Kleckner. Where am I? Oh, they went to Walgreens, dropped off the prescription. We're told it would take 35 minutes. So they decided to go. They must have stopped. Oh, they stopped at 2 stores, didn't they? And I forget what they were called, and picked up the cigarettes and vapes and stuff. So then they went to the horse pond. Candy did or did not get out of the truck. Candace spent most of her time watching TikTok videos. I guess Hunter was supposed to watch Summer. Although Summer wasn't very far from the edge, so I explained innocence. Well, we aren't to Hippie House and Priceless yet. What was the name of the I think I wrote it down somewhere. She said it was a new store and Candace hadn't been there yet. She wanted to check it out. Oh yeah, so I think they went to a couple before they picked candy up, and then they went to a couple after candy. Because allegedly they went to 4 different stores. Some tobacco shop. Sure did a lot of shopping that day too, huh? I exploited innocence. Did I miss anybody? Okay, so then they went back to Walgreens, picked up the prescription, 128, right before they closed for lunch. So here we are at 1:30. Yeah, they do have time for another stop in between before they get to Sonic. Get to Sonic at 2, then go to Priceless. Okay, so going back to the video, the milk jug video, where's all the shit they bought all day? They went to all these stores, bought vapes, cigarettes, went to Sonic, went to Burger King, went grocery shopping, bought Twisted Tea, candy. Where's it all? There's nothing. There's nothing in that video. I don't know. Do you think they stopped in the road and got out and put trash in the back every time they... Or did they just toss it out by the side of the road? I do. I absolutely do. Was Catch-22 the new one? Allie said the name of the new one, so... Yes. Okay, so they got slushies at Sonic at 2, and then went to Priceless. Recollections may vary. As to how much time they spent in Priceless. 10 minutes, an hour and a half. However, Hunter was home by... He said they drank the slushies on the way to Priceless. And then, depending on how long they were in Priceless, I don't know. Although Priceless didn't have that brand of milk, right? Why would you put the groceries in the back, but not put the milk in the back? Tell me that. That's a mystery. Yeah, no Sonic, no. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff, but yet none of it was in the truck. I don't know. Hi, K-Dan. Why are you always on when I'm trying to watch? What is Stooge Talk Live? Oh my goodness. I gotta look at some stuff. I got some screenshots of some stuff I was gonna look into about who really called. Jody Sue said she called. Someone else there that's a YouTuber also knew about it, allegedly. But I don't think it was Candace. Candace never said she called 911, did she? Someone called 911, but I don't think it was Candace. I actually think it was one of the boys. Mom went for a run. What is Stooge Talk Live? And come on, K-Dan, you need to set your priorities. Spoiled milk outside of the truck. Or spill. You know, the milk. Hunter said he sat in the middle and had the milk on his lap, right? So, and Summer was sleeping against the door. So when they got to Allie's, Hunter would have had to have gotten, and Summer would have had to have gotten out, wouldn't she? For Hunter to get out? I mean, he would have had to have moved over where she is to put the milk there. I don't know, it doesn't make sense. But yet, Hunter told Unmasked that he was sitting where the Skittles were. And the Skittles weren't melted either. Yeah, I don't know. I never did, but now that's Curly's great. Hi, just in case. For you. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go back over these things I have. Jody Sue did say Summer was. She said she was looking for Summer before Candace knew. Right? Before Candace knew she was looking for Summer, but how would she know she was looking for Summer and Candace wouldn't know? Okay, Birdie, we got to look into this. Yeah, she did claim that. After she threw her phone in the back of Don's truck, right? Don's truck? No. It would have had to. Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe she meant in the back of Candy's truck, did she? Everybody made a big deal about that. That Don's truck had the topper on it, but she didn't say what truck, did she? Maybe she threw it in the back of Candy's truck. Okay, here's where Cher said that they all got new phones just before Summer went missing because they put in a new cell tower. Okay, I don't believe that because, I mean, if they put in a new cell tower there, that doesn't make you switch carriers. I know Don still had the same phone. No, none of that makes sense. And if they put a new cell tower in, there wouldn't have been any problem reaching 911. I mean, even a phone that doesn't have a carrier can call 911. So, yeah, there's something funny about that, too. I'm in if you want to do a Dudley. Okay, let's do the Dudley. He said in the same interview while looking at Allie, did she get out or did I? Yeah, he doesn't seem to be. If he opened the door, how can he catch the stacked milk from hitting the ground? Well, he said she was sleeping against the door and he was sitting in the middle with the milk on him. Why he would have the milk on him, I have no idea. But yet, Allie said that Summer was sleeping against the milk when they drove up, just exactly like in the video. Something's going on here. Are they all in on it? Or are they all just making shit up to get their 15 minutes of fame? I can't tell. It was like he wasn't there. Yeah, the milk. The milk. They didn't know their birthdays. Well, she had her birthdays on her leg. They knew their birthday because Candace had just posted a happy birthday post on Facebook for Summer on her birthday. You know, maybe she just, you know, how somebody asks you something that you know for a fact. I mean, like every day. And as soon as they ask you, it goes right out of your head. I don't know. Maybe she was just, she doesn't like to be interrogated. Maybe she just forgot. I'm sure they know her birthdays. I mean, she posts birthdays. They throw birthday parties for the kids. I have pictures of them, so. Allie. Oh my God. Yeah, I hate to think of that. Okay, their neighbor said there aren't any cameras on that street. She said the cop told her none when the guy broke into her home. Birdies, was this before or after? I don't know. Supposedly, everybody and their brother saw Summer in the truck. I don't know. Yeah. Everybody thought, yeah. Yeah, he's certainly done a 180. A third person in the back seat. Well, there was boxes in there. There wasn't room for 3 people. I don't know. Nobody talks about talking to Candy at the truck, do they? The neighbor, Birdie's, the neighbor was interviewed with CSO, or Leslie? Let me know and I'll go look for it. I don't know. I don't think we can ever figure this out. There's too many blocks of time. How can Don get the call at work that Summer's missing at 5:30, but yet not get home until 7:09? Where was he? What was he doing? There's a big ass chunk of time there. Huge amount of time. What was he doing? He certainly didn't rush home because his little girl was missing, did he? Oh no, it's actually a 2x4. No, Candace didn't edit that. No, that's the actual picture. I'm gonna check. I'll run it through photo forensics and see, but I don't think so. Oh, Emma interviewed Allie's neighbors. Okay, I'm gonna go look that up. Yeah, but how long does it take him to pack up his tools? An hour? An hour and a half? No, I don't think so. You'd be in a little bit of a hurry, wouldn't you? Yeah, there's something funny about that story. Plus, Candace had to call him before that when he told her to take the drugs to Fred's, right? Wouldn't he have had his tools partially packed? Okay, the only 2 constants are Candace and Candy. Yes. Oh, I gotta go watch that. Oh, I have to go watch that. That's a good one. Okay, now, yeah, I'll run that through Photo Forensics Birdies. The original photo. She wouldn't know how to edit video. Don is technologically illiterate, but Candace, I don't know, she likes to delete things, and repost, and use the filters. I don't think she'd know too much about actually editing things, though. I mean, she's not that smart. He had control of her phone. She still hadn't turned it in. He had control of her phone. Whose phone, birdies? He had control of her phone. Okay, I'm kind of lost now. Oh, I see. Do you know that Candace was talking to H right before the front porch interview with Sam? No. No, they didn't mention that. How do you know that? Or are you asking me? And that was, he just happened to, he didn't set that up, right? He just happened to drop by. Huh. What are you going to delete, birdies? Don't delete anything I need to go back and look at. Yeah, I know. Some people say that. I don't know what they would have been texting about, though. I don't know how Candace would have known that they were there. Oh, I see. I get ya. Hunter. Okay. Well, I guess that's about all I got for tonight. What is today? This is Thursday. You guys have a safe and warm weekend. And I guess I got a little bit of research to do before our next thing. I wish Eve would have joined us, but we all love Bob. Let's show some hearts, some blue hearts for Bob. Poor Bob. Have a good night, sunshine. Yes, it's cold here. On camera down the road at 3:45. She was, I don't know that. I don't know. I know she went to Fred's at 4:30. But as far as that, love you, Bob. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks, my mods. And we'll talk to you later. Night.